I'm a very sentimental person.
This has been a real deep podcast.
I didn't mean it to be so. The deaf is stolen.
That was not funny.
Oh!
It's the traditional hero arc. You want to see them struggle.
There's no heroes here. Come on.
No.
And I still think to this day that they probably are still, thrusting around in the dark, so to speak.
I think, no, don't.
Hi, guys. Hello. Yes, microphone's working. Excellent. Terrific.
I'm glad you trolled that out beforehand.
Oh, dear God. Yes. So professional. Yes. I couldn't work out why it wasn't coming on. But anyway, yes, we're all here. We're all happy to be here. Hello, Pip.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
I am awesome.
That's good.
You just asked me.
Well, I try to avoid that because I just can't handle the conceit that comes washing over me when you...
Oh.
No, it's true.
It's so not. I am awesome. Sort of.
Sure. Okay, Pip.
Yes, Paul.
What time is it?
20 to 10.
No. I mean, what time in the podcast is it?
Oh, cheesy corn.
Cheesy corn. You know it. Okay, all right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the podcasting pick of the week.
We've really got to do something about that.
Last week, and I put an apology in for last week. Last week, I couldn't get the volume on it down on that. And it just, every time I played it, I played it about 3 or 4 times last week, and it just blasted the bejesus out of my ears. It was shocking. So I apologise to everybody profusely. That is my incompetence. And normally I view my incompetence as something of a feature rather than a flaw. But last week it was well and truly a flaw. So sorry, everybody. There you go. I do apologise.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yes.
And now it's on tape. So
it is now on tape. Now, this week's pick of the week. It's
for podcast pick of the week.
Podcast pick of the week. Thanks.
What's your podcast pick of the week, Paul?
Well, if I can get a word out edgewise, I'll tell you that it is one of, if not my favourite podcast of all time. And I'm bringing it up today purely because on, I think it's podcast number 5 of their episodes is the Revenant.
That's not our podcast number 5. Ours is number 24.
24, God.
I know.
Yes, we can vote and everything now. Our podcast and vote.
One more and we get cheap insurance.
Yay! So it's the Dollop.
Yay!
And I love the Dollop. And
I love the Dollop too.
And we have been listening to the Dollop for years. Well, I have.
I haven't.
But
I've only been listening this year.
To be fair, though, you've done a crash course on it. And you're a little bit strange now because you've done a lot of Dollop.
Has it affected me?
I think so. I think you're looking a little darker.
My complexion is a bit darker.
Your
looking
outlook. I think they've kind of, your happy rainbows have kind of got there's a little bit of an ominous cloud on the horizon sort of thing.
I only just recently listened to the one they did in Australia about the penguin melting one, and I'm like,
the Macquarie
Island
yes,
one.
Yes, that's just.
I'm like, because I'm only up to, what am I up to now? 230 something?
No, if people are listening to it and they're just ploughing through it, go to the Macquarie.
They've got nearly 400 and I'm only up to 230 something.
Just keep plugging along. You'll be right. It's a life study doing the Dollop. Now,
so explain what the Dollop is.
Okay, the Dollop is essentially. It started off as an American history podcast, and
isn't it still an American history podcast?
No, because when they go to overseas to other countries, what he tends to do is do topics on their countries.
History topics.
That's correct. Yes.
Now, hang on a sec. For those of us who aren't up to wherever you're up to, because you're up to date, aren't you? You've listened to all of them.
No, I haven't listened to the most recent one.
Okay, doesn't matter. because I'm only up to 230 something. I've heard the Australian ones. Do they go somewhere else? Any other country?
Iceland.
Oh, I've heard them talking about them going to do that, but I haven't heard that one yet.
Yes. No, well, you're just about there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes. So you'll be learning all about human skin pants, for example.
Ew.
Ew.
Oh, nice. But so Dave Anthony and Gareth Reynolds, who are comedians, Dave writes, he's done writing for Meredith, which is a show on Netflix.
Yes, and he also did WTF for Mark Maron.
Okay, I haven't...
He wrote episodes for that.
Okay, so these two guys basically, Dave talks about the historic event and Gareth makes funny comments.
Not just funny comments. Gareth is probably the funniest person on the internet. I'm sorry. I really would struggle to think of anyone who's
I think they
funnier
make
than
a great pair.
They do. They offset each other. It's light and dark. Sound familiar?
But the reason why we bring the Dollop up is, one, we think they're awesome and people should listen to them.
Yep.
And two,
you might learn something.
Well, two, you might learn something.
Yeah.
And three,
and then it'll just make you cranky for the rest of the day because it won't be good.
Some of them I've listened to and it's just really brought me down. Some of them I've listened to and went, oh, wow, that's amazing. And other ones I've gone, oh, gosh, humanity sucks.
Well, that's harsh but accurate. But look, it's a case of, how can I put this? You know, you look in history books and you'll open up like, George Washington and many other various different topics on history, and you'll see what's in the books. But what these guys do is they really dive down in between the history topics and they pull out, for example, they'll do a whole documentary, for example, on George Washington's teeth.
It was very interesting.
It is, but they're just, and Gareth is just the funniest person, and he improvs like nobody I've ever heard. So
I think he's very talented.
Yes, this is a must, guys.
His accents are really great too.
He does great accents, although he does cop a bit of shit for his Irish accent.
Does he?
Further down the track, he does. Some cranky Irish person said.
I think Irish people get upset when anyone tries and copies them anyway.
They're Irish.
Australians cop it big time when we try and be funny.
Yes, I'm actually Irish. Well, my background is Irish.
Oh, yeah, my mum's an O'Loughlin.
Yeah, but you're also Dutch.
Well, I'm just a mongrel, so... I'm a mix. Most Aussies are.
That's what Australians are. We're just, we're
mixed
big
mongrels.
stirring pot. Big stirring pot.
But, it's... everyone seems to pick on the Irish for the accent sort of thing. So I reckon if I was Irish, I'd be like, oh.
If you can pull off an Irish accent and you can do a good job of it,
yeah.
You should never ever stop. You just go through life.
It's the people who do bad ones that should stop.
Yep,
sorry, no, you must stop now.
Yeah. All right, so...
But the reason why we bring up the Dollop, I think I got up to number 3, is because tonight we've watched The Reverant.
Yes, and Revenant is about a man called Hugh Glass. And
he's on episode 5 of The Dollop.
Yes.
Now, I listened to the podcast and I went, oh, this movie's about Hugh Glass. It's going to be awesome.
Yes. So would you listen to the podcast first? Now, I ask you.
Well, hang on. Should I give a synopsis before we start delving into this?
I just want your opinion first.
Oh, that's a hard call. That's a real hard call.
Well, that's why I'm asking the question.
Well,
because me personally, I would rather have listened to the Dollop first so that I know how it really worked out. Because you know how movies tend to, and I got in quite a bit of enjoyment by going, oh, that's not right, and that's not right, and that's not right. It's a bit like The Showman, isn't it? The Greatest Showman. Yeah. Have you got to that episode yet?
No, I haven't.
No, keep going.
No, I'll just keep at it. But no, look, to tell you the truth, I think I would have probably enjoyed the movie more if I didn't know. But then I guess then you can't go, well, hang on, what's the go with that? Why is that happening like that? So.
Okay.
That's a 2.
Pip, could you please read for me the synopsis?
While collecting beaver pelts with a company in the uncharted wilderness of North America in 1823, mountain man Hugh Glass is brutally attacked by a bear. The attack leaves him with life-threatening injuries, so the company leaves him with his son and 2 others who are ordered to stay until he passes away. Fitzgerald gets tired of waiting for Glass to die.
Sorry. Come on, hurry up!
Killing Glass's son and tricking Bridger, the other young man, into leaving Glass. Glass must fight through injuries, rough terrain, snow and Native Americans to track down Fitzgerald and get his vengeance for the murder of his son.
So, Pip, you notice I got straight to it tonight. Now, this was my movie, so I picked it, so I'll go first.
Paul put this movie up.
Yes. I have not seen it. I don't know if it was a good movie or a bad movie. But I can categorise this movie in 3 parts.
I'm listening.
Okay. The synopsis should have gone, man walks through forest and gets attacked by a bear.
That didn't happen at the start.
No, well, close enough. Close enough.
Okay.
That's chapter 1. Chapter 2, man crawls for 5 hours through snow.
No, it was only a 2.5
It's
hour
like
film.
the film just went on and on and on. Oh, look, he's crawling through more snow.
When I saw that it was a 2.5 hour film, I went, this is great. They got to look at his early part where he got kidnapped by French pirates and then had this other thing happen
pine needles.
with the pine needles.
Yes.
I thought, this is going to be fully sick.
Yes.
And I went, oh.
Yes.
Wow. Who is that?
We'll just spend the whole time watching him crawl through snow.
And I thought, he has a son? And I was really shocked. So after I watched...
Is it his biological son? Because I could never establish that.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I did, so I listened to the Dollop podcast beforehand.
Yep.
I watched the film.
Yep.
I was slightly confused. So I actually went and read an article that was done about Hugh Glass based on some of the books that came out.
I made sure, because I've heard the Dollop podcast quite a few times, so I made sure I didn't listen to the podcast because I wanted to judge it purely on the merits of the film itself. However, having all that other information just swirl around in the back of the head sort of thing, you know. But I just wanted to get a feeling of it. I didn't want to be sitting there comparing notes all the way through it. You know what I mean? Because it is a movie.
I know, but
and they're always going to get the information wrong on it.
No, not true. Some movies, if you've got a slight background on what's happened, if it's based on a true story, which this one is, then it actually helps you enjoy the film more.
Sure.
I've found some films where I've known the history, I've enjoyed the film more.
But this was not the case.
No. I was...
there was a lot of crawling in snow.
No, which he did in this. Hugh Glass actually did that. He travelled over immense...
Oh, sure. Look, we get it. He crawled a lot.
But, when you've got a film that's 2.5 hours long, and I reckon half the film was him.
And he just, it pans out, and he's just this small crawling speck on this vast plane of white. You just think, oh, God, okay, all right. So, but I thought that they'd just do a couple of cut scenes like that and do a kind of, like Hugh Glass, a snow crawling montage, get the Rocky scene going, da, 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 da. But no, nothing like that. It was just this morbid kind of crawling through the American wilderness. And may I say, it was beautiful. But
it was gorgeous.
But it was quite
it was long.
It was a very somber kind of environment, wasn't it?
I know they're trying to portray... absolute
harsh wilderness,
harshness, and exactly what he went through. You're suffering watching him. Imagine what he's suffering.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, well, yes, but I'm watching this. I want something to happen.
Yep. Now, I'm just gonna say, I enjoyed the film.
Really?
You didn't.
I found it too arty.
There was too arty.
To me, it was really arty. Like we're getting images of how
Hang on,
he's
I'm
thinking.
defending art, the man who stands there and yells out in the middle of art museums, and you're saying it's too arty?
To me, what I was expecting of the film, which is probably a bad thing. That's what I mean. Maybe I shouldn't have listened to the podcast before I went.
It's okay. You're going to want to run off and research it. That's what you bring to this.
But I was actually hoping that they would, because I thought, 2.5 hour film, awesome. And they